Nintendo's 3DS plans for 2019 and beyond. That said Buzz Lightyear in the Google Doc, so that wasn't very Buzz Lightyear sounding at me.
I mean, you tried.
I tried. I failed. This news comes from NintendoLife.com. Mr. Kimishima says Nintendo still has plans for the 3DS in 2019 and beyond. So basically, when Nintendo Switch launched, the foregone conclusion that the Wii U would be axed, which it was. But many wondered if the 3DS would suffer the same fate, which so far it has not.
No, Daniel, the 3DS is going to be supported alongside the Switch and the Wii U.
So the Wii U died.
No, Nintendo said it was a third pillar.
Don't listen to what they say. Don't listen to what they say. So there's a quote: the Nintendo 3DS family of systems has reached a global cumulative series sell of 72 million units to a broad array of consumers. 3DS boasts a rich line of game software with more than 1,000 titles across a wide variety of genres. We will continue the Nintendo 3DS business by leveraging its installed base and rich software library. We believe it is important to leverage the rich library of 3DS series titles to drive sales with existing 3DS owners as well as with consumers who recently have purchased the 3DS hardware and are investigating strategies for doing so. In addition to the titles currently on sale, we have announced the coming release of the titles shown here. We are even preparing a new software release for 2019 and beyond. Our plan is to continue maintaining this business by taking advantage of new titles like these. That's the whole quote. Nothing but the quote.
It was well quoted.
It was
good, sir.
Such quoting.
So this news comes from Nintendo.
From Kimishima,
Yeah.
the man who's going to be stepping down in a couple months.
So technically, Kayla's hierarchy boss.
If you go high enough.
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know.
Like really higher. Like really, really higher.
Like he probably doesn't know I exist.
He doesn't know we exist either.
But you know that he exists, so that's good.
So I think this is interesting because, I mean, stuff like this, like saying they have plans for like 2019 and beyond, I can't take too seriously because, like, they said the same thing about Wii U. It's like, no, we're going to continue to support Wii U. A month later, it's like, we're canceling production of the Wii U.
But to be fair, that's night and day.
Yeah. The Wii as well, though, is the Wii was kind of as big a success, or bigger success than the 3DS even. And Reggie ran on record and said, you know, oh, the Wii has a long life ahead of it still, and then they announced the Wii U like very shortly after. So,
and then
like very shortly after,
the Switch has already, like, I think it's passed the Wii U lifetime sales within just like a year and something. And also another piece.
I don't saying much.
I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, but it's another tiny piece of news. Breath of the Wild, in a little bit over a year, became the best-selling Nintendo Zelda game. So it's already outsold Twilight Princess, which was the last record holder because it was. Actually, I would say it's Ocarina of Time now because you can. Like, if you count every version of Ocarina of Time on, like, the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U, Nintendo 64, I would say it's probably the best-selling.
Yeah, but I assume you mean on, like, a single system.
Yeah, for, like, physical release.
Right.
Breath of the Wild outpassed both the GameCube and the Wii versions of Twilight Princess. And I don't know if they just counted the Switch version of the game or the Wii U and the Switch version.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember where I saw the numbers for it, but somewhere I saw that Breath of the Wild, its sale rate was like 105%. So like per Switch that was purchased, or per console that was purchased, their sale rate was 105.
Yeah, because people were unable to get a Switch, so they still bought the game for later, even if they couldn't get the Switch, basically.
Yeah.
So it was like it was outselling the console that it was on.
There's a lot
honestly,
of people.
Like, I bought the game twice, so.
Yeah, that was another thing.
Why?
A lot of people bought the game 2 or 3 times because they had the collector's edition, that a lot of people didn't want to open up that had everything that came with it, and then they bought the actual game so they could, you know, have a copy to play. And then some people, whenever they released the, what was it called? The Heroes? No, oh my god, I forgot. It was the version that came with the book. Do you guys know they released it for the holiday sales?
I couldn't tell you.
It was like Breath of the...
I don't know.
Hero...
Daniel, does your kid wear clothes?
Not if he can help it.
Wait, what?
I've been on the podcast 4 times, and 2 times I have seen Daniel's son in his underwear.
Oh, did I miss something? I was looking sometimes.
No, guys, I'm not crazy. Daniel, you should know this. We talked about it. What is the second version of Breath of the Wild?
I think it's Explorers.
Yeah, the Explorers Edition. That's it. It came with like a little mini strategy guide booklet thing. So, yeah.
You really went off on a limb there, Daniel.
I was like 79% sure.
This is a word that I think I remember.
Explorers Edition, yeah. So people bought the like different versions of the collector's edition or the limited edition. Like they had the ones that came with like the Switch pack thing, the protect your Switch, the case. It came with like the poster, the little coin, a bunch of cool stuff. And they had like different versions of the collector's edition that came with the various things. Then they had the actual game, and then for the holiday season to boost sales even more, they had the Explorers Edition that came with the normal game with like, I think it had a new cover on it of Link fighting Calamity Ganon, like really cool anime style artwork. Didn't look anything like the actual game.
Oh,
and then they are probably, I would say next year, they're going to do like a game of the year or like a complete edition that comes with the DLC bundled in.
Gotta milk us some more.
Yeah, they already have some version of Splatoon that comes with a bunch of like, they have regular Splatoon 2, and then they have like Splatoon 2 like starter pack edition or something like that that comes with a lot of extra in-game items and stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyways, back to the original topic. 3DS. Nintendo's going to continue
that's
support.
What we were talking about.
Yeah. I get
Good
lost
job,
on these tangents with Zelda and stuff. But with the 3DS support, like, it's good because all the people, it's like, like, for some reason, I just now bought a 3DS. I don't want them to move on to the next thing. Like, it's bad for them, but in the same way, I don't... Well, I mean, it's good for them, but I don't necessarily believe Nintendo's word on this to be 100%. I think they're trying to please those people that are just now buying the 3DS and instead of the Switch. But to me, when I hear this, like, oh, we're going to continue support on the 3DS for 2019 and beyond, I look at it as that just means it's going to be even longer before we get better versions of these games. Like everyone that had that was excited for Metroid Samus Returns.
Yes.
Like playing the game, I'm sure 99% of the people playing that were like, why can't I play it on the Switch? Like, can I please have this same game on the Switch? And there's a lot of other cool 3DS games that people would like to come to the Switch, and they are now moving their biggest handheld franchise to the Switch. And after Nintendo does that, I don't see too much support actually going into the 3DS. But that word, like, support, can be handled a lot of different ways. Like, the Wii had a brand new game this year.
Like, other than Just Dance?
No. That was the game. Yeah, like Just Dance.
Just Dance 2018.
So it's like Nintendo could say, yeah, we're still supporting the Wii, as in they're still letting games being published for the console. But other than something like that, I don't see them actually supporting the 3DS with any big titles. Like PlayStation, in a similar stance, gave up on the Vita a long time ago. Like they don't release any huge titles on the Vita unless it's something that can also play on the PlayStation 4, some like cross-play stuff or whatever, but there are still companies that release really good games on the Switch, or not the Switch, but the Vita. So I can see it getting supported, but I don't see it being the focus of Nintendo. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think like there is going to be like more huge 3DS games being announced, or do you think it's just Nintendo giving market speech?
I don't trust anything Nintendo says in interviews and things. They don't. They don't know. I mean, I think it's time to let the 3DS. I think it's time to let it die, so we can. It's been around for almost a decade. Yeah.
I think we'll get another price drop on the 3DS, and maybe they'll have one more new edition for the 3DS, like one crazy color scheme, like the Cosmic new 2DS, was it? That was like purple and it had like the stars and everything on it. Was it a new 2DS or was it the new 3DS?
XL Galaxy Edition.
Yeah, like I thought that looked pretty cool.
There's too many, I've lost count.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on that, Kayla? How do you see Nintendo legitimately supporting the 3DS?
I want to say that I 100% pass, just because, like, I don't see where they can really go with it now. I mean, like, I have my Nintendo Switch, and I've basically just... My new 2DS XL is just hanging out in my drawer somewhere, and I'll probably only revisit it for demoing and Animal Crossing, unless they come up with an Animal Crossing for the Switch, then.
Did you see there was... I forgot who it was. It was like some famous actress or someone who has like 10 million Twitter followers posted like, where is Animal Crossing for Switch? And it was like,
who was it?
It was on Go Nintendo.
I want to say it was me, but I am not famous.
But I have heard you say that.
But have you tweeted that?
Probably.
I mean, I have, but no one noticed me.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Yep. Story of my life, man.
Yeah. Axel, Daniel, did you guys give your thoughts on how you think Nintendo is going to support the 3DS?
I don't think we've heard from Axel.
I think, I mean, you're definitely right that they might not, I mean, it might just be all kind of hot air at this point. I do think it would be smart to them to keep... I mean, okay, they either come up with a 3DS successor or they continue putting stuff on the 3DS, mainly because, one, it's a big market at this point, especially with how many people own 3DSs. It's a lot of people, so there's just a lot of people who'd buy the product. And as much as the Switch is a portable system... They're kind of lying about that. Switch is a portable system, much like the Vita. It's like a powerful portable system. But part of the reason the Switch is doing so well isn't because it's a portable system. It's because they're pretending it's a home console that you can take portable. Having a literal portable mini system alongside that actually helps that image.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the way that they've separated handheld gaming to portable gaming.
Yeah. And then they have, like, I mean, obviously the Switch is killing it in terms of, with all the indie titles, the small games getting put on it. But I actually have trouble imagining Nintendo doing that themselves. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just have trouble picturing that. So, I don't know. I feel like it would be a very cool idea if they continued doing stuff for the 3DS. I think certainly other companies will be doing so simply because it's good business. There's so many people who would buy it. So many 3DS owners. Whether or not Nintendo does, I'm not sure. They might just start doing small games on the Switch, I couldn't say. But I think the 3DS existing actually helps the Switch's image. Which I think maybe points to they would, if they were going to pick one of the two, they would preserve the 3DS rather than make a new one. That's my thoughts on it.
Do you think that Nintendo will try to move the 3DS audience to the Switch, or do you think they're going to release another console that is definitively going to be like another handheld, because a while back, I think it was the current president, after he became president or whatever, they were interviewing him about the Switch and the 3DS and the Wii U, and he said something with the 3DS saying that even though the Switch is out and can be used as a handheld console, that Nintendo isn't finished with dual screen development. So that could have just meant that they're still focusing and creating games that take advantage of the dual screen thing, or it could mean that another 3DS successor could eventually come out that also has the dual screens. But then we have the patent from a couple of weeks ago where Nintendo had like all of the different screens next to the Switch where they all worked together. Do you remember that?
No, I'm afraid.
They had a banana.
Yeah, they used a banana as... So it's
like
like
a banana.
basically you can take your Switch and 2 or 3 other people can have their Switches, and you can put them together, and like it'll work as if there's just one image across all of the Switches.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, like if you when you plug multiple monitors up to a computer and it can share the same image across all of them, that's basically what this is doing. So
clearly Axel didn't watch our podcast going over it.
You guys put the podcast on my busiest day of the week.
Yeah. All right. So I did the first news story. Daniel did the second. Kayla, Axel, do either of you want to take the next piece of news?
Axel, you take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Take this. The mobile game.
Okay. Let's see, where is it?
You're the most passionate Nintendo mobile fan.
Am I? Okay.